And welcome to Technology Tap. I'm Professor J Rod. On this episode, let's talk about Cloud Plus. Is it an exam worth taking? Let's get to it. All right, and welcome back. So, this episode is actually fan request. I actually have a listener, David Dixon. You know who you are, David, from California. He asked me if I was ever going to do anything on the cloud. So I took the Cloud Plus exam last year. So I figured, let's talk about it. But before what he really wanted is to be post questions about Cloud Plus. I actually helped David with his A Plus, Network Plus, and Security Plus. But he wanted the Cloud Plus. So before I even input some questions, I decided let's talk about it and see if it's even worth it. But first, we have to do some housekeeping, as I like to say. Thank you for everyone who has joined Technology Tap Premium. For those of you who don't know, Technology Tap Premium is a new service that I'm offering our viewers, our listeners, for $5 a month. And it's just to build this community even bigger, for us to collaborate in different forms. For example, I can give classes via Zoom if you need it. I can answer questions if you need it. I can give you career advice. We could all together, right? We can build a community of networking, of helping each other, of pushing each other. We could do study groups together. I can bring people on that would help certain people with their resumes or with interview techniques, right? I think it's something that would benefit everyone. I mean, I'm not in this to make $1 million. I mean, $5 a month is not that very expensive, but I'm want to buy Zoom license, and I want to be able to buy T-shirts. I'm doing a contest. Don't forget, if you sign up for 3 months on June 1st, I will give one lucky winner a voucher, if for A Plus, Network Plus, or Security Plus. You tell me which one you want, and I will send it to you. In order to be eligible, you must do two things: be a subscriber for Technology Tap Premium for 3 months, and also allow me to interview you about winning the voucher. So those things, I'm trying to make a bigger presence on social media. I hired a social media manager to help me with that. So this year I vowed to get Technology Tap grow a little bit more. I think last year, especially towards the end of the year, I got really busy with stuff and I slacked. I mean, I was looking at it the other day. I think 2 episodes. I didn't do nothing in September, one in October, one in November, and nothing in December. So I owe you guys a lot of episodes. So you see, I've done 3 in January. It's already February. It's not even halfway through February. This is my second one. So I feel like I owe you guys to keep producing content. I'm not at a point where I'm going to do it every week, but I want to do it 2 days a month. But I need to catch up from September, because our season runs from September to July, with August being vacation month. But I owe you guys like 4 or 5 episodes. So every month I'm going to try to do an extra month or 2 of episodes. Hopefully by the end of July, we will have 22 episodes for this season. It's 11 months. 11 times 2 is 22. Well, actually, we would have, 22. So even season 2, this is season 3. Even season 2, I missed a couple episodes. So if I can end up catching it up, so by the end of this season, I will have roughly, what I started November, roughly 40, that's 52 episodes. Hopefully by then, we'll have that. I have 41, maybe 60 episodes. So hopefully by then we'll have enough. Which, again, thank you for all you guys who have been following me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. But this one goes out to David Dixon from California. And let's talk about the cloud. The cloud, the Cloud Plus, it's in its third version. So it's been out for a while. I think it came out in 2013. It's not an easy exam. And you could tell that it's not an easy exam by the score that you have to get. You have to get 750 out of 900. So usually, the more you have to score on the exam, kind of tells you it's harder. Maximum of 90 questions, multiple choice, and performance-based PBQs again. Again, it's 90 minutes, and it's who's recommended, what kind of experience they recommend you have. Well, they recommend at least you have 2-3 years of work experience in IT as a system administrator or IT networking. They want you to have the CompTIA Network Plus and the Server Plus or equivalent knowledge, familiarity with major hypervisor technology for server virtualization, knowledge of cloud service models, knowledge of IT server service management, hands-on experience with at least one public or private cloud IaaS platform. Like I said, passing score is 750 out of 900. And what kind of jobs can you get with a Cloud Plus? Well, you can become a senior systems administrator, a cloud engineer, systems engineer, senior network administrator, senior network engineer, cloud specialist, and cloud project manager. So it's a lot of jobs out there for these kind of things. And cloud is I think this is the one that more people are going to ask for in the future. Though that Data Plus that they came out now, I'm still thinking about that one. But I think Cloud Plus, if you have a school or if you have an institution that I know a lot of us have went from just regular CIS, computer information systems, if we're not doing computer science, and we've introduced cybersecurity, and that has become like a hot job. But I think cloud is another one. So if you have some kind of program where you're incorporating both cloud and cyber, you'll be in great shape, because these are our two topics that would really get your students out there and help them get a job. The only thing is, it's not easy, right? Cloud and security, hardware may be easy, networking, but as you move along, it gets harder. So you gotta make sure that you have qualified teachers to be teaching your students this stuff. This stuff is not easy. All right, let's get back to the exam, the cloud. So what are the things that are in the exams? Well, according to CompTIA, you have your cloud architecture and design, where you compare and contrast different types of cloud models: public, private, hybrid, community, cloud within the cloud, service models, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. We all know that from A+. Advanced cloud services, the Internet of Things, serverless, machine learning, AI. think of our new favorite friend, GPT chat, right? Requirement analysis, software, hardware integration, compliance, service level agreement, user and business needs, security. The environments that you're going to be in, is it a development environment? Is it Q&A, staging, blue, green, production, or disaster recovery? There's a lot of new acronyms here too. And then testing techniques, vulnerability, penetration, performing, regression, functional, and usability testing. Of course, we have security, right? You're going to do identification and authorization, privileged access management, logical access management. Of course, access control with different roles, right? Role-based, discretionary, non-discretionary, and mandatory. Directory services, federation, certificate management, single sign-on, etc. Uh, Give policies, password complexity, user permissions, antivirus, hardening baselines, file integrity, right? Secure network in a cloud environment, network segmentation, VLAN, generic network virtualizations, your different protocols, DNS, network time protocol, encryption, tunneling, network services, firewalls, stateful and stateless, right? IPS, IDS, it's in the exam too. Given a scenario, apply data security and compliance, encryption, integrity with hashing and digital signatures, classifications, right? Secret, top secret, segmentation, access control, impacts of laws and regulations. It's a lot of good stuff. Security requirements, your different tools, vulnerability scanners, vulnerability assessment, security patches, hotfix, schedule updates, virtual patches, risk registers, deactivation of default accounts, impacts of security tools. What's next? Incident response procedures, your preparation, documentation, training, tabletop lessons, identification scope, investigation, containment, eradication, and recovery, chain of custody, or stuff that if we've done Security Plus, we should have heard before. If you've taken Security Plus, this is not new to you. This is just an extension, a little bit more of a deep dive into cloud services. Next is deployment. You have your subscription service, file subscriptions, communication, collaboration, VDIs, directory and identity service, cloud resources, provisioning resources, containers, auto scaling, templates, identity management. Now we talk about the cloud environments, block, SANs, file with NAS or NAS, object tenants and buckets, tiers, flash, hybrid, spinning disk, and long term. Protocols, network file systems, common internet file systems, internet small computer, storage features, compression, deduplication, thin and thick provisioning, user quota, RAID disk 0, 1, 5, 6, and 10. It's interesting because in A plus they took out a couple of them. Your services, DHCP, NTP, DNS, IP address management or PAM, VPN, site to site, point to point, point to site, IPsec, network appliances, load balancers, firewall, virtual private cloud, the hub and spoke method, peering. Next, we have appropriate computing size for deployment. You have, of course, your hypervisors type 1 and 2, your simultaneous multi-threading, oversubscription, central processing unit versus virtual CPUs, graphic processing unit. They ask you a lot of that was a couple of questions on my exam. Virtual, shared, and pass-through. Cloud migrations, physical to virtual, virtual to virtual, cloud to cloud. storage migration, block file and object, and database migration, cross-service migration, relational to non-relational. Then we go to operations and support, logging, collectors, simple network analysis, audits, automation and trending, monitoring, baseline thresholds, tagging, log scrubbing, etc. Availability, alerting, comment message method, enable disable alerts, policies for communication alerts, how to maintain an effective operation of a cloud environment, confirm completion of backup, which is very important. Life cycle management, roadmaps, old with current new versions, upgrading and migrating systems and getting rid of old system of end of life, change management, which is big, right? We've learned that now we learn it in A plus. Patching, update, which is actually the first episode of Technology Tap that we ever talked about. It's about updating. Talk about firmware, software, operating systems, policies, rollbacks, impacts of processes, improvements on systems, upgrade method, rolling upgrade, blue green, canary, dashboard and recording, tagging, cost, chargeback, showback, elasticity, usage, connectivity, latency, capacity, incidence, health, overall utilization, and then availability. How to optimize cloud environments, right sizing, compute, storage, network placement, right? Where is it geographically? Device drivers and firmware. Are we using generic or vendor device drivers or open source? Next, we apply proper automation and orchestration techniques, infrastructure as a code, continuous integration, containers, automation activities, secure scripting. Talk about backup and restore operations, backup types, incremental, differential, full, synthetic, and snapshot. The last two are fairly not fairly new, but fairly new if you're not, for CompTIA, right? Those are fairly new. Uh, those were not discussed in Security Plus or Networking Plus. Backup objects, application level backup, file systems, database dumps, configuration files, backup targets, tape disk objects, backup and restore policies, retention, schedules, how to restore in place, alternate location, restore files, snapshots that we use, perform a disaster recovery task, failovers, fallback, restore backup, replication, network configuration, on-premise and cloud site, hot, warm, and cold. We know that from security requirements, RPO, RTL, SLA. Again, another feature that we will first introduce in security. Documentation, data recovery kit, playbook, network diagram. So some of this stuff it was just expanding from all the other stuff that we learned before, and I think it's a natural progression in your path as you go and get more and more certs. Troubleshooting, troubleshooting methodology to resolve cloud issues. Always consider your corporate policies and procedures and impact before making any change. Identify the problem. Establish a theory of probable cause. Again, the same thing, right? Test the theory. Establish plan of action. That stuff we learned in A plus. The troubleshooting methodology is still the same, right? That has not changed since A plus. It's always going to be identify the problem, question the user, right? Inquire about environmental changes. So that does not change. That we've learned that from A plus. Matter of fact, even fundamentals. So troubleshoot security issues, privilege, missing incomplete escalation, authentication authorization, security group, your keys and certificates, misconfigured or misapplied policies, data security issues. Again, this is some stuff that if you take in Security Plus, maybe a little bit of Network Plus, you should be familiar with this. A lot of this stuff should not be foreign to you. This stuff, if you've been in this for a while, this journey that a lot of us have taken, you're familiar with this stuff. There's no doubt about that. Given a scenario, troubleshoot deployment issues, connectivity issues, performance degradation, configuration, applications and containers, licensing issues, vendor related issues, troubleshoot connectivity issues, network security groups, misconfigurations, common network configuration issues, right? Peering, incorrect subnet, incorrect IP address, network address translation issues, DNS records, network troubleshooting tools. Again, the same ones that we've been using from the beginning: ping, traceroute, flush DNS, IP config, and its lookup, right? The same ones that we learned in A+. Given a scenario, troubleshoot common performance issues, CPUs, GPUs, utilization, memory storage, network bandwidth, your application, memory management, service overload, incorrect or incorrectly configured or failed load balancing. Then we're up to troubleshooting automation, account mismatch, change management failures, server name changes, IP address changes, location changes. That's a whole bunch of stuff that you have to learn. That's what's on the exam. What's also, as with any exam, you get new acronyms, right? And there's a whole bunch of them that some of us should be familiar with, like AAA, right? Authentication, authorization, and accounting. And there's one that's DR, right? Of course, is disaster recovery, right? But being a big baseball fan, when I think of DR, I think of Dominican Republic, right? But no, that's not that. It's disaster recovery, folks. Of course, they mentioned GPU a lot. You should know what that means: graphic processing unit, CRL, certificate revocation list. Some of this stuff you should be familiar with: IPAM, IP address management, ICMP, which is ping, Internet Control Management Protocol. So this new, again, as with every CompTIA exam, it comes with new, what I like to call new vocabulary, uh, where you just have to learn new terminology. And it might just be, like I tell my students when I first teach A+, you have a word like latency. If you don't know what latency means, it's hard for you to answer the question if they give it on the exam. So CompTIA has this objectives file that you can find on the internet. This one that I was just reading of was for Cloud Plus, and it tells you the acronyms. Might be a good idea to go through it if you're gonna take this course first and look up the words and make sure you know the definitions of some of these words. It'll make it a lot easier for you because you may not know what these words are. I remember the first time I ever taught A+, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, 6 years ago, when I taught it for continuing ed at a community college in New York City. They actually had a ESL teacher who, on Fridays, who would come in and really translate for the students what these words meant. Words like latency and continuous and load balancer and stuff like that. Stuff that they look at it, they may not understand what it means. So, by the way, I got 18 out of 19 to pass in that class. Still one of my favorite classes of all time. So shout out to my people there. You know who you are. So at the end of the day, is the Cloud Plus an exam worth taking? And my answer is yes. I mean, if you want to continue along with your IT path, I think this is one of the exams that you should take. It'll give you a better understanding how the cloud works, even though you may not directly work with the cloud. I think you are going to touch it nowadays in IT. Look, even Google Drive is considered a cloud service, right? So you're touching it anyway, even though you might not think. Even if you think, I'm never gonna use the cloud, or they won't let me work at the cloud at work, get the certificate and then let them know, right? That's, you know, they may not they may not know who you are. They may not think you as smart as you really are, because everybody who listens to this is a genius. But show them what you can do. Show them, hey, look, I went to school, or I took a class, or I took a course, and I got my Cloud Plus. You'll be surprised how it will turn out for you. So, yes, so the Cloud Plus is worth it. And as always, it's a little expensive. Let me know if you want me to put it in the rotation, i.e., do you want me to give you guys questions about the Cloud Plus exam? I actually made questions. I was just going to go straight into questions for this particular episode, but I felt it's better if I tell you a little bit about Cloud Plus, and then you let me know if this is something that you'd be interested in hearing more. So let me know, guys. Email me at professorjrod@gmail.com. Let me know, hey, do you want to learn more about the cloud, or do you just want me to continue with the trifecta of A plus, Network Plus, and Security Plus? All right. That's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining. And Mr. David Dixon, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And as a reminder, please subscribe to Technology Tap Premium. I'll see you next time. This has been a production of Little Chacha Productions, art by Sarah, music by Joachim. If you want to get in contact with me, you can email me at professorjrod@gmail.com.